Welcome to the Sports Machine, November the 6th, Friday.
Good Friday.
College pick six, NFL pick six, where we pick the six best games from each, plus the really though. Today we have player matchups, some good games with some key matchups in it. Amari Cooper, Antonio Brown, DeMarco Murray or Darren McFadden, Todd Gurley or Adrian Peterson, Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning. Ooh, that's not a positive one. And of course, Brady Quinn, because he makes appearances all the time. I guess we gotta get started with Brady Quinn's former team. That Thursday night football game. We said it yesterday. It was not gonna be a great game.
Nope.
For the Cleveland Browns.
And to be honest with you, Cleveland hung tough in the first half. And by halftime, they was only down 4. It was 14-10. And they just couldn't stop the tight end. Tyler Eifert, who you had on your FanDuel team, comes away with over 20-something plus points. I couldn't pick him on my team because they said, well, you can't have more than 4 of the same players on your team. And I went with A.J. Green, who got me 7 points. Thank you, A.J. I owe it all to you.
I think you should give some credit to Hayden.
I'm not going to give credit to Hayden when their defense gave up 31 points.
He can't control the whole defense. It's not his fault.
Nope. Good job, Joe Hayden.
There we go. That's all we needed.
Good job, Joe Hayden. You held him to 7 points for me. While Tyler Eifert over there was duping cornerbacks, getting 3 touches.
He left
3
him
TDs.
He left him sitting there. I don't remember which cornerback it was, but it was not a good look.
It wasn't a good look. He bit on the fake so hard, like you thought it was a burner or somebody.
You know who he looked like?
Got gunned down.
By a tight end on a stop and go.
Not even like Jimmy Graham maybe. Okay.
Nah, I don't even think I would accept it on that. Not the way he got beat. It wasn't like he out jumped him for the ball.
He just a fakey. Backside fakey. Touchdown.
I think it's the first skateboard reference.
For those of you who thought we don't know nothing about skating, we do.
He do. I'm not going to claim some. I don't. Andy Dalton played very efficiently against the Cleveland defense. 21 for 27, 234 yards.
Right.
No interceptions. 3 touchdowns. Johnny Manziel didn't play terrible, but did not play to win the game.
That's putting it nicely.
You think he played terrible?
He was 15 for 33, sir. I don't know what else you call it. What else do you call it? Like 33 attempts and only completed 15 of them.
He didn't throw any interceptions.
His leading receivers were, let's get this straight, because he only completed 15, right? So it was 2 to Duke Johnson Jr. Duke Johnson Jr. had 2 catches, 38 yards. Gary Barnidge, 2 catches, 35 yards. Dwayne Bowe, he's been missing. I thought he was still on a milk cart, missing somewhere. 3 catches, 31 yards. Isaiah Crowell, 3 catches, 26. Travis Benjamin, who's everybody was expecting a big game from, was still missing. 3 catches, 22 yards. Jim Dre, 1 catch, 13. And last but not least, Taylor Gabriel, 1 catch, 3 yards.
That actually is last and least.
Yeah. Right, yeah, pretty much.
Johnny Manziel was over there spreading the ball around.
That's how I start. Spread the ball around, all right. I give him props on that 1 touchdown throw where he actually scrambled out the pocket and made actually a pretty good play. Like that was the only highlight of that team's night. Period.
Was the fact that Johnny Manziel threw a touchdown?
Yes. He actually threw it on point. But once again, they was ready to have a fire sale and get rid of their best left tackle on the team. So you have to wonder, had they traded him, what would it really look like? Johnny Manziel been running he been running like the gingerbread man. Run as fast as you can.
Do you think they leave Johnny Manziel to start the rest of the season? We spoke about this yesterday.
Might as well. You're already in a cellar in the league anyway. At the bottom. Might as well stay there.
No, at the bottom. They're close to the bottom.
They'll be a top 5 pick.
Well, yeah.
But then again, they're used to being a top 5 pick. I'm not bashing. Like, think of, like, the history says it. This team averages a top 5 pick every other year.
I have to be honest. You're not bashing them because I was bashing the Philadelphia 76ers before the show really hard.
Yep, man. Clowning them.
I was. The Philadelphia 76ers should change their name. That's what I said. To the Philadelphia Tanks.
Because they tank in their year for lottery balls.
For a dude that's not going to play for at least a year.
Right.
And then when he does play, Nerlens Noel has played well, so I can't bash him too much. But where's Joel Embiid?
On the back of somebody's milk carton. Missing.
On the Cincinnati Bengals side.
Everybody got some love. Except for A.J. Green.
8-0. Do you think they're going to lose anytime soon?
As of right now, I need to see who they have.
They have
coming
the
up next.
Texans. The
Next?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The Cardinals.
Maybe.
Then the Rams and the Browns. The Rams are a tough game. But that's at home.
The Rams go into Cincinnati?
Yeah.
That's a win.
Then they're at Cleveland. We saw what that was.
Right. That'd be a win.
Then Pittsburgh comes into Cincinnati.
That's going to be a big game due to the fact that Cincinnati may be trying to play for that first round bye. And then Pittsburgh is going to be playing for a wild card spot. It's a big game. I'll step out on a limb right now, and I'll just say Pittsburgh will probably win in Cincinnati.
Then they go to San Francisco.
That's a win.
Then they go to Denver. That probably depends on both teams where they're at. Because that's going to be
health-wise
the
as
second
well.
to last game.
Right.
So they might be sitting somebody depending on the bye situation, home field. Then they play Ravens in Cincinnati. That's their last game.
I could see Cincinnati going. What? I could see them with the.
Just looking at it, looks like 14-2 to me.
Yeah. I was actually going to say 13-3. Depending on like their health situation. Like so long as Andy Dalton doesn't get hurt, so long as they don't lose AJ Green for the season.
I will say this, the next game against Houston might not be a cakewalk though.
I disagree with that. Matter of fact, I'm looking forward to that game because I'm going to have at least another 3 or 4 players, including Andy Dalton next week, seeing how Houston tends to give up a boatload of fantasy points to players. So, yes.
Someone has to learn from their mistake.
Sir, I cannot confirm or deny.
I understand it's at Cincinnati too, but I think Houston might have gotten a little rejuvenation.
Yeah, that's how I
The
started.
fact that they're tied for the division lead, even though they've been playing so terrible.
Yeah, as if the coach is going to beat the Broncos. But we'll go into that later on.
We do have the NFL Pick 6 coming up.
Right on.
And the player matchup. Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning. Which one would you take for that game? Coming up next, Brady Quinn is back in the news, which is never a good thing. It is time for the Sports Machine Sports Ticker. Last night in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals won the Thursday night matchup with the Browns 31-10. Also in the NFL yesterday, the Detroit Lions ownership have decided to fire the team president and the general manager. In college football, Baylor got a close win over Kansas State 31-24, and 20th ranked Mississippi State won 31-13, beating Missouri. For the NBA scores last night, the Hornets got a win over the Mavericks 108-94 behind Al Jefferson's 31 points. The Thunder couldn't get the win against the Bulls, losing 104-98, although Kevin Durant did score 33 points and the Bulls got 29 from Derrick Rose. The Heat beat the Timberwolves 96-84. The Jazz won against the Nuggets with the same exact score, 96-84. The Grizzlies lost another big game, this one against the Trailblazers 115-96. This is Brian Franklin on the Sports Machine, recording right here in Dallas, Texas. Just got done talking about Cleveland taking it against Cincinnati.
Straight taking it. Spread eagle.
Someone else that's used to taking it, Brady Quinn,
Spread eagle.
decided that he needed to say something about the NFL's injuries.
Brady Quinn. Yes. We're talking about the same Brady Quinn who was expected to be this, savior of football at one point in time. Drafted by the Cleveland Browns, from Cleveland. Supposed to be in the Cleveland guys. Going to take those guys to, to uncharted territories. So much for that dream. As you heard yesterday in our news, the league has been hit with a series of unfortunate season-ending injuries, and Brady Quinn felt like maybe, just maybe, that the reason these injuries are happening is because a lot of guys are using using illegal substances like HGH, which gets guys, it builds them up in bulk, gets them bigger, but it also makes them more prone to injury. Now, there are some steroids that out there that also help you recover faster from injury. I remember a couple of years ago, everybody was trying to accuse Ray Lewis of using deer antler velvet to help heal his torn pectoral muscle, which then got him able to play in the playoffs and because what the injury was supposed to be like a season-ending injury. He came back a lot sooner than expected.
Because Ray Lewis is a beast.
Right. And so, that's basically what he's saying is these guys are, and he's not putting any names out there. He's not accusing of anybody. But he did say he's almost sure that more than half the league is taking some type of banned substance that they're not supposed to be taking. So he goes out to basically what he's ducking it a bit. It's like, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. Own it. Just
say
own
it again.
it.
Say something else. Oh, say something else. Say something else.
Exactly. Just own it. You played in the league, so people is going to listen to you when you say something like this. Can't just go out there and say, well, half the league is taking some type of illegal substance, then be like, I'm not calling any names. Well, you just said this after a bunch of key guys got injured this week. Le'Veon Bell, Keenan Allen, he's out for the season with a kidney injury. Slew of guys went down over the past couple of weeks.
Is Brady Quinn going to go the baseball route where he's going to write a book about all the players that take performance-enhancing drugs?
Maybe he'll be the next meathead of football, Jose Canseco style.
As we go into the world of the haters.
Sorry, Brady Quinn.
That's exactly what he is. I'm not saying, but I'm saying, get out of here.
If you're a player that got injured this season, do you send shots?
Most definitely, especially like if I know I'm clean, I was hurt after he just brought this out. And quote, I'm not going to be a whistleblower, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything Quinn said. There's got to be something these guys are taking. That's what I think, at least. Close quote.
Just because they're better than you doesn't mean they're taking something.
Thank you. Like, that's what gets me right there. Is like, I'm not trying to be a whistleblower. That line right there says you know something. Like, I know, but then I don't know. Like, come on, man. You can't flip-flop on this. Like, you can't, like, you just can't, you can't open up this, you can't crack open the seal of Pandora's box in this situation, then turn around and don't want to own it. I know that there's guys out there that are taking illegal substances. We all know that there's going to be somebody who's always trying to gain an edge because you got millions and millions of dollars at stake.
Half the league, though.
Yeah, exactly what he said. Half the league. More than half the league. So that could be 60-40.
I'm trying to understand.
70-30.
Is this about the injuries? Or is this about the fact that Brady Quinn couldn't make it in the league?
After earlier this year, he said, I'm going to make one more comeback try at it. And, well, seeing as how he's reporting for CBS Sports, needless to say, I guess that was a failure.
I think he's upset by the fact that he's not better than Josh or Luke McCown.
At this point in time in his life, he ain't even better than Johnny Manziel. And Manziel ain't had a chance to really get his feet wet in the game. We pushed for Johnny Manziel to get the rest of the season. But what do we know?
Is it possible that the injuries are because of performance-enhancing drugs?
Once again, I always thought that performance enhancers was always used in some people's cases to get them back on the field or back into their field of work faster.
Not necessarily just to gain an edge, but to get back.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm saying, like I said before. And once again, Ray Lewis denied this claim, but age like with the deer antler velvet, like it helped build muscle. It also helps like not just build your muscle, but injuries and stuff like that help them heal faster. And not to mention, it was one of the most untraceable illegal substances. And once again, we say illegal substances, we mean that they're illegal. They're deemed illegal by the NFL. Like, this is not like you. If you want to go online and order it, you can order it, but order at your own risk because of the fact that the FDA doesn't approve of it. Then again, it's a lot of stuff the FDA doesn't approve of. But once again, a lot of people have taken, like you can even say with Alex Rodriguez, with A-Rod, a lot of stuff that he was taking wasn't always to, as he said, like to help him get an edge at hitting the baseball or getting home runs because he was having an injury-plagued year. He need to get back on the field, would do anything to get back on the field. Had the best of intentions, but what you always say about intentions be?
Some of the worst things
Exactly.
happen on the best of intentions.
Yes, sir.
That's enough talk about Brady Quinn. I'm done with that. Moving on. Player matchups this week in the NFL are very interesting to me. That's why I brought it up. Let's just get started with Philly versus Dallas. Remember, we're not picking the games right now. We're just picking between two players. I'm going to go with the running back position. Would you rather have DeMarco Murray or Darren McFadden this week?
Darren McFadden.
That's
As we go into the world of the haters.
Why and you know I'm a Cowboys fan. Like let's
was a
just be
homer
clear.
pick.
I'm a yes. I'm a clear Cowboy homer. Ain't no way I'm going with anything coming out of Philly. Period. I don't care. Man, they could Broadway Joe could come back in a time machine and be a part of their team.
Sam
And I'm-
Bradford versus Matt Castle. Who do you take?
Matt Castle. I don't care. Like, dude, I'm so serious. They have Donovan McNabb right now. And I'll still pick Matt
As we
Castle.
go into the
Call
world
me
of
what you want. Yes,
the
I'll be
haters.
that. I'll enter that realm and any other realm and other realms too.
Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb, big old forehead.
Donovan McNabb is like a Hall of Famer.
I don't care. I do not care, dude. I can't stand nothing Philly. It's crazy because my girlfriend likes the Philadelphia Eagles. It's like, I think it's a curse on me or something. But I still love her though, man. She my heart.
I'd take DeMarco Murray. Just
Yeah.
because they're going against Dallas.
Yeah.
And you know he's going to put on a show.
You can have him. Our defense is our strong point right now compared to our offense. Straight like that.
It's like winning 2A high school.
Oh man, you gonna put that on something?
Next player matchup, Green Bay is going into Carolina. I'm going with the quarterback spot. Aaron Rodgers or Cam Newton?
I'm gonna go with Killer Cam. Gotta go with Killer Cam at home.
I'm not sure if I like Cam Newton more than I like Aaron Rodgers.
But what's holding you back?
The fact that Aaron Rodgers is better than Cam Newton.
Yeah. Won an MVP, won a Super Bowl. I can understand why you would go there. Why you would want to lean that way. But once again, something is holding you back from that matchup. From actually confirming who you're going to go with.
Later on in Pick 6, I'll go into the Packers more in depth. But strictly from an individual side, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Cam Newton. Not by that much. A lot of people think it's probably by a lot because Aaron Rodgers can throw the ball better than Cam Newton. But what Cam Newton gives Carolina is a lot more than throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the fun of it. Packers defense versus the Panthers defense.
I got the I got Carolina defense. I'm sorry. They're for real.
I do too. Redskins, Patriots. I'll go to the tight end spot. Reed or Gronkowski.
Gronkowski all day. I think that's just too easy.
Yeah. I
That's
couldn't
just
come
too
up with a
easy.
good one on that one. Pretty much everything the Patriots have is better than
Exactly.
Washington.
Whether it's Edelman versus Garcon.
I don't know. Maybe which running back would represent the Patriots, Blunt or Deion Lewis
Deion Lewis will be the starter.
versus Alfred Morris?
Only reason why I would go with Alfred Morris because I know he would get majority of the carries. Like you just don't know with. I know that depending on the score, whether they're ahead or behind, Morris he'll get the touches, he'll get the carries. Whereas with Deion Lewis in the Patriots offense, it's like if the passing game isn't working, they will. If the running game isn't working, they'll completely ditch the run game and pick play them all day.
The Titans and Saints are next. I'm trying to think of a good one. I think Drew Brees wins the quarterback one. Whoever starts for.
I guess a good one. The only thing a good one here is like you said with the defenses. Who you got?
This mess around be last week all over again with the Saints.
Titans defense have looked good at times, but it's like as they get into the second half of a game, they just
I'd take the Titans defense over the Saints defense.
with Zach Mettenberger in the game, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Saints defense and in the dome, Mercedes Dome.
Miami Dolphins take on the Buffalo Bills. Assuming Tyrod Taylor plays.
Tyrod Taylor,
Over Ryan Tannehill?
yes. Ryan Tannehill's a phony. He's a phony. Once again, everybody got so high on this team because they beat two teams that is going to be bidding to be in the top five.
If I was
To be in the
Ryan-
top five pick, along with Cleveland. They beat Houston, then they turn around and beat Jacksonville, or vice versa. But either way, those two wins that they got after Philbin was politely kicked out the door.
If I was Ryan Tannehill, I'd be looking for you. A phony? It's a little far.
I get on the fact that he has to diss practice players to make himself feel good, all because you pick six and throwing pick sixes in practice. And your coach at the time had to dial the defense back for the practice defense. Practice? We talking about practice. Practice, B. Practice? Seriously, we talking about he had to dial it back for you in practice? Good God, Tannehill. You are a robber. You are a thief. A thief in the night. You lower than a snake's belly, sir. So low right now.
Really disrespecting
So?
Ryan Tannehill.
So. Unapologetic on this show. If you don't know, ask somebody.
Rams versus the Vikings.
Now, that is a good matchup.
Todd Gurley or Adrian Peterson.
God, I thought you was going to go with the quarterbacks.
Why would I go with the quarterbacks?
Because you know I was going to pick Teddy.
Well, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is better than Nick Foles. That's why I didn't ask an obvious question.
All right. I'm going with AP, Adrian Peterson. Once again, I like what Todd Gurley brings to the table. I like what he's doing for this team, but I worry about his longevity. How long he's going to be able to keep this up?
Well, Adrian Peterson thinks he can play till he's 40.
AP, he's done it.
First he compares himself to Jordan. Now he's over here playing till he's 40. Thinks he's Tom Brady.
Well, I wouldn't agree. I won't call Adrian Peterson a Jordan of running backs, the Jordan of anything.
He can't. Michael Jordan is considered the best basketball player of all time. You look at the running backs. You got Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Adrian Peterson. You've done really good in your career. Mm-hmm. You're not quite Jordan-esque yet. Right. You're not blowing out the competition.
Until Adrian Peterson gets on defense and actually handles somebody on defense. Because say what you want to say about Jordan. He was offensively and defensively good. Even better on offense. He was great. But he's also a great defender.
Next up, Jaguars and the Jets. I'm going to go with the quarterback, Blake Bortles, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Injured Ryan Fitzpatrick, by the way.
I'm going to go with injured Ryan Fitzpatrick. And you know I'm not a huge Fitzpatrick fan, right? I've stated this more than a couple of times. He wasn't great in Houston, but that was last year. But this year, because they have a much better defense in New York, he can actually just manage the game a lot better. The defense can actually bail them out of more situations than what it was in Houston.
I agree with that.
Not to mention, it helped him a whole lot when they got Brandon Marshall as a bigger receiver, who's a bigger receiver, been in the league longer, and stopped using Eric Decker as a number one, who they was giving a number one spot mainly because he was catching passes from Peyton Manning when he got that fat contract.
Next up, Raiders, Steelers. Going with the wide receiver position, Amari Cooper, Antonio Brown.
Amari Cooper. There's nothing against Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, what I see is Ben Roethlisberger is coming back. He's still, I don't care what anybody say, the knee injury, he's back still a little bit too soon. And the Raiders defense, it's not the best defense, not the worst defense. They're kind of in the middle of the pack. They can get to Roethlisberger, and if they get to Roethlisberger, how long can he continue to take those hits? How long before he makes one of those throws back there with Charles Woodson playing safety and he started getting the ball turned over? I like the chemistry that Carr and Amari Cooper have together. They're slowly but surely blossoming into something real good.
I'd still take Antonio Brown on an individual level, though.
I can understand why.
Even though I'm a huge Amari Cooper fan. I think what he brings to the table is really nice. I imagine what he's going to be in 3 years.
Right.
You mentioned Roethlisberger coming back. Quarterback position, Roethlisberger versus Carr.
I'm taking Carr.
Taking Carr. Yeah.
Right. It's mainly just because he's injured. He's harbored. One of the main things that he uses is his legs to get him around. He got a bum knee right now. Doesn't bode well for a quarterback when you're used to.
Yeah, I'll take Derek Carr. I'm going to do the running backs, too, since it's D'Angelo Williams. D'Angelo Williams or Latavius Murray?
Without question, I'm going with D'Angelo Williams. Latavius Murray, he's had his moments, and then he's had his moments where it's just like, come on, dude. Like, they've really hyped you more than anything. We was hearing the hype about Murray back off in preseason. And I just haven't really seen it I haven't really seen it yet from the games I've watched.
I'd probably still take Latavius Murray. seen more out of him than I've seen out of D'Angelo Williams this year. Giants, Buccaneers, not a really great matchups. I guess we could do Jameis Winston versus Eli, but I think Eli's kind of solidified what he is this year. I think Doug Martin takes it for the running backs. But Odell Beckham versus Mike Evans, is it close?
Nope.
Nah, I don't think so. Falcons, 49ers. Is there anything the 49ers have that could compete with Matt Ryan, Devontae Freeman, Julio Jones?
Nope.
The 49ers don't even have a tight end anymore.
They don't even have an offensive line.
Broncos, Colts, Andrew Luck, or Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning. Oh, say, B, if you... do I need to say it to you, sir? If you do what I think you do.
I would take Andrew Luck, but...
Here comes Santa Claus!
Yeah, he's a gift basket.
Yes. And we all know when you hear the "Here comes Santa Claus," somebody's passing out gifts.
Frank Gore versus C.J. Anderson Hillman put together.
Frank Gore.
I'd still take Frank Gore, too.
Right.
Coming up, college pick 6. Get our takes right up next on Sports Machine.
Your Sports Machine news update is being brought to you by the Soul Society Studios, putting some soul back into their work. The baseball at Kansas City Royals shortstop Alcides Escobar hit for an inside the park home run in the bottom of the first inning in Game 1 of the World Series, sold Wednesday night for over $19,000. The ball was retrieved and authenticated by MLB with a QR code and a hologram. Atlanta will host the college football playoff national championship game in 2018, followed by Santa Clara, California in 2019 and New Orleans in 2020. The venues were selected from a group of 9 bids to host the title game, including Houston, South Florida, Charlotte, Detroit, Minnesota, and San Antonio. In Stillwater, Oklahoma, Payne County District Attorney Laura Thomas filed formal charges against 25-year-old Adacia Chambers. Chambers is being charged with 4 counts of second-degree murder and 46 counts of felony assault. Each murder count is punishable at least 10 years and up to life in prison. Former University of Georgia star A.J. Green endowing scholarships to his former school. The A.J. Green Family Scholarship will go to 2 need-based students in Georgia, with the stipulation that the recipient of the football scholarship represent University of Georgia in an outstanding manner in the classroom, on the playing field, and in the community. This has been your Sports Machine news update. Stay tuned where we have the College Pick 6 next.
Welcome to the Sports Machine, Brian and Dean. Went over the player matchups in the NFL this week. Brady Quinn, talking about PEDs causing injuries, and a Thursday night football game, which Cincinnati won against the Cleveland Browns 31-10. We got to pick the 6 best college games this week. The 6 games we chose. First one, 5th ranked Notre Dame going up against Pittsburgh. Any chance Pittsburgh upsets Notre Dame?
Unfortunately, I don't see it happening, good sir.
I mean, Notre Dame has C.J. Prosise.
What the coolest name in sports. Every day C.J. Prosise should get up and thank his mama. Mama, thank you, mama, for this cool name. I wouldn't be precise, I'd be precise. C.J. Precise, baby. All day, every day.
I agree. Notre Dame wins this game pretty handily. Up next, Penn State going up against the 21st ranked Northwestern. We all know how Northwestern gets.
Mm-hmm. We all know how Northwestern gets, but it doesn't stop me from picking them while they're at home. Even though they got blanked by the Michigan Wolverines at home, I don't see the same thing coming from Pennsylvania State.
I don't see Penn State just dominating Northwestern the way Michigan did, but I think Penn State will get the win. I like Christian Hackenberg, I like what he brings to the table.
Right.
I don't trust Northwestern. I've seen it too many times before. They start off really good, come out undefeated for first few games, and they lose one game, and after that, you just don't know. Up next, Navy has a big game with the 13th ranked
Memphis Tigers. And this is not NCAA. This is not basketball we talking about. We talking about football. Can you believe it? We're talking about Memphis Tigers.
And then Navy's 4-0 in the conference. I mean,
Right.
It is the American Conference. I'm not going to act like it's the strongest conference.
Undefeated is undefeated.
6-1 on the season. Memphis is actually favored by only 7.5 points. I figured it'd be more than that.
Right.
I actually have Navy in this game.
Good luck. Paxton Lynch. 200 out of 285, 2,027.09 in yards, 18 touchdowns. He's for real. P. Lynch.
I like Navy's run game. Mm-hmm. It's different than just about anything else you'll see in college football. And it usually confuses good teams. We've seen this offense beat a good team before when Georgia Tech
Right.
shocked the world.
Right. But I just don't see them. I just don't see Navy coming out on top with Memphis at home having something to play for. Like I said, they're ranked number 13 now. Who knows? Big win may get them in the top 10.
Up next, TCU, number 8, going against number 14, Oklahoma State.
I don't think I need to say who I'm going with, but I will. TCU, Trayvon Boykin, that dude.
I'm also taking TCU, who is led by Josh Doxson.
Guys who we feel like they're in the Heisman Trophy race. It's not going to be an easy game for TCU, though.
Because they can't stop anybody, which is why they're ranked 8th.
Once again, when your offense is your defense, you force other teams' offense to play up to you. If their offense can't score, then you're in trouble because Trayvon Boykin and that offense can and will score.
The over-under on points in this game is 76.5.
It's Big 12 football. What do you expect?
Big 12 or not, it's terrible defense.
Call it what you want to call it. Some people say it's entertaining.
It is entertaining. I found TCU against Texas Tech extremely entertaining. The only problem is that TCU almost lost the game.
Right, be like that sometimes in a 12.
Do you really believe TCU gonna win the championship?
Yes. You want me to put that on something? Tempting them all day to say it.
TCU has no defense. I think it's amazing that you think they can somehow win the college football playoff.
When your offense is your defense, good sir.
They might as well put their offensive players out there for defense. The other offenses score the same amount of points.
They do it in high school.
And there's a reason why they up to the college level now. I thought. Apparently TCU doesn't mean anything. Florida State going to Clemson. Deshaun Watson leading the way for Clemson. Dalvin Cook leading the way for Florida State. This is supposed to be the big game. 2 undefeated teams, but Florida State
Choked one up.
they got upset. I wasn't going to say choked. Who you got?
Sound the alert. Upset alert. I have Florida State going into Clemson and taking their O.
Is this because it's Clemson?
Right.
The whole
As well, and then it's an ACC game. They're robbers. They used to plan each other. I think that Florida State is going to control the floor of the game via the run with Dalvin Cook, another Heisman hopeful, and play steady defense. And once again, shock Clemson. I won't say they're going to shock the world, but they're going to shock Clemson.
I think if they beat Clemson, it would shock the world. That's how good Clemson is this year compared to the other years when people say Clemsoning and the whole they choke every year against some random opponent. Those years, Clemson had flaws. Clemson has a few flaws just like every other college team does right now. But I think Deshaun Watson's just a little too good for Florida State. And I think Clemson probably wins pretty handily. I don't think Florida State's that good this year.
Wow. Dalvin Cook with 127 yards, 127 carries, 127 carries, over 1,000 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. It's the reason why he's a Heisman hopeful. You get this guy the ball, good things happen to you. Good things happen for your team.
You better hope Clemson doesn't have the ball all day. Like, Dalvin Cook better be really good this game to have a chance.
Hey.
I think Clemson's going to put on points.
Mm-hmm.
The best game that's coming in college. You knew we were going to pick it. Number 2, LSU, going into Alabama. Alabama shocking people with the college football selection committee deciding to put them at number 4.
Right. The worst thing that could have happened was the fact that they did get put in this so early right now, ahead of some unbeaten teams, ahead of 2 Big 12 teams that are undefeated and playing pretty well for reasons that they stated was strength of schedule amongst other things. But the uproar that's happened since Tuesday, people saying, I can't believe they have Alabama here, and I don't know why they don't have Baylor here, and why they have TCU there, and should Notre Dame be this far? Like, one thing we do know is Nick Saban will have Alabama ready to play. They will be ready to play. They will be out there to prove people wrong. That, we're supposed to be here for a reason. There's a reason why we are in the college football playoff right now.
For those people that do not know, Alabama's actually the favorite in this game by 7 points. Even though LSU is ranked 2 and Alabama is ranked 4th.
Right. I do have Bama winning this game because of that reason. Had it not been for that, I was leaning towards LSU earlier this week. I really was, until I started hearing on several sports stations about how, this team doesn't deserve to be there. They didn't deserve this. They don't. And once again, that's just people expressing how they feel. But one thing we do know about Nick Saban and his teams is if you're going to sit up there, you're going to put that out there. If you're going to give him that bulletin board material for his team, he's going to lay it out there for them and have them pumped up and ready to go. I know you don't like the bulletin board material. I know you stated more than countless times that if you need bulletin board material to get you going, then what are you playing for? But that's what get this team going, and I think they give it to LSU, unfortunately.
I've been riding the Leonard Fournette bandwagon for too long to jump off just because Alabama stepped in the way. I still have LSU. I think with Leonard Fournette, they can control the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Although Alabama's running back is definitely no scrub. Henry is for real, at least for college running backs go. I think Alabama turns the ball over a couple more times than they should. I think LSU takes advantage of that. I think Leonard Fournette continues his streak, gets over 100 yards. And he's going to need to get, if they hold Leonard Fournette to under 140 yards, Alabama wins the game. But I have LSU. I think Leonard Fournette can run even against the Alabama defense.
Mm-hmm.
I have LSU winning 21-10.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like Alabama's offense. Even though I do like Lane Kiffin.
Wow. I'll give it to Alabama 24-21.
At least it's close.
Yeah.
Coming up, the NFL Pick 6. But first,
really though. Really
time, you knew somebody was getting it. Somebody always has to say something out there that they shouldn't. You gotta say really though to it. Who you want to go first?
I'll go first. My really though goes to Urban Meyer and the Ohio State Buckeyes. As you know, you've heard the situation that's happened since last week with then starting quarterback JT Barrett with being arrested for driving under the influence, driving while intoxicated. And they took him, they suspended him. Okay, it's understandable. If he lost, he's pretty much, you could say he's lost. He has to earn his starting spot back. Okay, understandable. But what I don't like is the fact that this kid who earned a scholarship is now having it taken away for a semester for making a mistake. You're penalizing him already, taking him out the game. You lost your starting spot. You have to earn it back. All right then. You know, he's already been locked up. He's had time to think about it. But why is it that he has to lose a semester of his scholarship? Why? To make the program look good? Like, this is how we handle these situations? No, okay. That's fine. You know, he made a mistake. Once again, I don't condone it. We've been, like, me and my family, we've been hit by a drunk driver before. I understand that. Parents that's lost kids and loved ones to drunk drivers. I understand that. But he's earned his scholarship. There's been players right now. One quarterback got suspended for a full calendar year over a banned substance. A full calendar year, and his team hasn't taken his scholarship away from him. He can still go to school.
I think this might be the first really though that I think probably should have been a topic, because I think me and you would disagree on this, because I think this was a deal. I think they walked up to JT Barrett and told him, either you're going to be suspended for the rest of this year or you're going to have to take scholarship loss.
No. Once again,
because the school has to look good.
Right.
But you don't want to lose that player on the field either. To me, this was them trying to they're trying to weasel out of it. They're trying to have the player while looking good.
But be that as it may be.
And anything that you mentioned, he earned the scholarship. Yeah, he earned the scholarship, but you can also unearn it too.
Yeah, but
you see players all the time do it.
Right. Okay. But when they unearn something, they unearn it because they're not doing the work in the classrooms majority of the time. Because even though it's an athletic scholarship, it's also still you have to perform academically.
Players lose scholarships due to off-campus actions all the time.
And they don't report it like they report this one.
Because they're not as big. They're not as a part of the team. In fact, they're looking for a reason to give most of the players off the scholarship so they can give the scholarship to somebody else. It's not right.
Once again, that's why I always feel like these guys should be paid something. You have the floor, good sir.
My really, though, on a less serious topic, goes to the Clippers Twitter account. I don't know who does it, but they put out there. Final from Oakland. Golden State Warriors 112. Los Angeles Clippers 108. Hashtag didn't lose by 50.
Oh.
Little shot at the Grizzlies. I didn't know that their loss was worse than yours, because when I look at the win-loss column, it's the same amount. Still lost.
Right.
Still not good.
The fact they had to make themselves feel good about, well, at least we didn't get blown out by 50. Wow.
That tells you what they think. Can they really beat the Warriors? Not with an attitude like that.
No.
I liked what Tony Allen had to say about the subject, because Tony Allen is hilarious. And quote, you ever seen the movie White Men Can't Jump? It's like those brothers would rather look good in a loss than look bad in a win. Whoever's in charge of their Twitter should be fired.
I agree.
It's sad because it looks so true. They rather look good in a loss than look bad in a win. That's a worse shot than lose by 50.
Right.
I like Tony Allen.
There's a reason why he was first team all defense last year with something like that. He's first team defense with the comebacks too.
You're happy because you didn't lose by 50.
Good job, LAC.
Really though.
Good job.
Really though. Moving on. NFL Pick 6. Top 6 games in the NFL. First up, Giants Buccaneers. Giants 4-4, Buccaneers 3-4. Jameis Winston's been playing pretty well these last 3 games. Can they upset the Giants?
It's possible. I do have them winning this game.
Is that solely based on the fact that you're a Cowboys fan?
Yes, it is. Mainly because I need this team to lose. We need, as a Cowboys fan, we need them to lose. But mainly because of the fact that the Giants have a problem with stopping the run. I'm not expecting Jameis Winston to turn into Drew Brees and throw 5, 6, 7 touchdowns. But I do know this team can run the ball with Doug Martin and company. And when you're able to run the football, it opens up your pass. And we all know by now that the Giants' pass defense is ranked last in the league. So being able to run the ball against this team only opens up the pass even more against a team that's 32nd in the league, dead last. Doesn't go well for that team.
I have the Giants winning the game because I just think, because I don't think the Buccaneers can stop the Giants either. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be last week versus 49-52.
Right, a point festival.
But it could be 28-35. Could be 28-32, 31.
I actually have it 28-24 Bucks.
I have the Giants 28-17. I think the Buccaneers have kind of been on that roll. They got a big win against Atlanta.
Right.
They probably going to expect it to kind of come. Like, all right, we're here now, which they look good. They should be happy with the way they played recently.
Right.
But maybe I think they let off the gas a little bit too much and realized that the Giants are playing for the division.
Exactly.
They need this win.
And with every team in the NFC East playing, wins and losses, it's going to be big this week.
Up next, Raiders, Steelers. Who you got?
I have the Oakland Raiders going into the Steel City, dealing the Pittsburgh Steelers I won't call it a mortal blow, but it's very close. Because I feel like the Raiders and the Steelers will be competing for the AFC wildcard spot later on this year. That's the importance of this game, in my opinion. I know it's still early on, but we all know NFL season tends to roll pretty quick.
I agree. I think this is a very important game for both teams. And I also have the Raiders winning. Ben Roethlisberger coming off that injury.
Right.
Don't necessarily know what you're going to get from him. Le'Veon Bell injured.
Right. We all know D'Angelo Williams is not a slouch, but it's one thing to have a top 5 running back go down and then another running back who could arguably be off in the top 15.
Plus, like you said earlier, I like the chemistry between Derek Carr and Amari Cooper.
Right. Not to mention that.
And Michael Crabtree. So
Yeah.
the whole offense is really
Right.
clicking.
Right.
Their defense is a little questionable.
And let's not forget, Charles Woodson over there, he's playing his butt off on that defense, man. Like, I think he is the heart and soul for that defense. So they play as well as he play.
They play off of turnovers mainly.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily get a lot of stops, but they can get some interceptions. They can ball hawk a little bit.
Exactly.
Enough to give the offense the ball.
Exactly.
Next game up, St. Louis Rams going into Minnesota to play the Vikings. I know you're kind of big on the Vikings.
I think this team is for real. Mike Zimmer, once again, was a great defensive guy for the Cowboys for a good time, was a great defense coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals for a good amount of time, and he's doing something good with this Vikings team. I like what they're doing. I like the fact that Teddy Bridgewater finally has him a go-to receiver. We already knew, the first game of the season, it didn't show what this team really was. I think it just showed the rust on Adrian Peterson for being out that year. But once again, being able to run the ball with Adrian Peterson opens up the pass. Once again, I see the Vikings winning this game 24-13.
Wow.
Yes. You just never know what Rams team shows up, even with their defense.
I have the good Rams team showing up. Sensing the fact that I have them winning the game. I think Nick Foles doesn't turn the ball over, which is the most important part of this game to me. Todd Gurley gets his yards, gets a couple touchdowns. And I believe the defense shows up enough to slow down the Vikings offense. I'll take the Rams 21-17. Gotta admit, not that confident in that. Because this game really is that close.
Right.
And it's another one of those wild card games. Who's going to make the wild card?
Right.
Up next, Broncos 7-0. Can they be upset by the Indianapolis Colts?
Don't see it happening. Won't see it happening.
Like they say won't, like it's a guarantee.
If I was Broadway Joe, I'd guarantee it.
Trying to put it on something?
No, because no. The no-fly zone will be in full effect against a quarterback who likes to do what, B. Frank?
Here comes Santa Claus!
Pass out gifts. This is going to be an easy game. Peyton Manning will set a record in this game.
Whoa.
And I believe after this, the Colts will look to go ahead and give head coach his termination slip. Say, it was nice. It was fun. But Irsay.
You can't blame him for losing to an undefeated team.
Tell that to Irsay. This same guy who had it. Irsay
deserves to be
I don't
suspended
think
for the
he
league
I
for
don't think he
years.
deserves exactly. Like I don't think the head coach deserves to be on the hot seat. He was just got him. They was just in the AFC Championship game last year.
I have the Colts winning in an upset fashion.
He don't believe it.
I actually do believe it. I don't trust Peyton Manning.
What about the no-fly zone?
What they did to Aaron Rodgers was too impressive. Overqualified.
Yes. Yes, overqualified. So why is it that you see the Colts getting this win?
I believe after what they did to Aaron Rodgers, they're going to come off a high. They're going to slip up a little bit. Frank Gore is going to run the ball effectively. Andrew Luck, tired of all the trash talk, is going to come out and play very well. T.Y. Hilton gets a couple touchdowns, hopefully. I see the Colts winning. 28-17. They put it on them.
Ooh, just going to the next one, man. This the Broncos is gonna beat these boys so bad it's gonna be against the law. They should be locked. They're gonna wind up getting locked up after this game. They're gonna beat them boys so bad. But on to the next.
Eagles versus the Cowboys.
I got my Cowboys winning because they must win this game, and it's gonna be in a stinker. I think Matt Castle finally gets a touchdown pass in. I think this defense gets a turnover, which will lead to maybe a touchdown from a pick six or a fumble return. And I have the Cowboys winning this 17-13.
I also have the Cowboys winning. I think the Eagles turn the ball over, and I think that the defense gets tired by the end of the game. I have the Cowboys winning 13-7. Do not see a lot of points getting scored.
Yeah, it'll be a stinker.
Last game of the week, Packers-Panthers. Do the Panthers remain undefeated?
The Panthers will remain undefeated at home against the Packers, who is not the best road team. I think it's been noted since last year that this team between playing in the frozen tundra in Green Bay and being a road team is night and day.
I believe the same thing. I think Carolina wins the game. I believe the way they run the ball to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field, plus Carolina's defense is for real.
And not to mention Clay Matthews' ankle injury. Either he will or he won't play. Right now, he's still questionable.
Don't give Cam Newton too much time.
Nope.
Been a great week. Appreciate all the love for the debut week. Not gonna want to miss Monday's show. You already know we have to review all these, especially the Broncos Colts pick, because I believe the Colts will win.
Yeah, right.
Right here on the Sports Machine.